for every mentally impaired person out there who may unleash hell against society, there's a caregiver somewhere in their orbit who is absolutely bewildered and frustrated and pulling their hair out, struggling, despairing, messed up themselves. I promise you, there's somebody in the orbit. And if that caregiver goes down, then what happens to that impaired loved one and what's protecting them? Are those caregivers the last line of defense sometimes?
Oh, yeah. And
I think they are.
If we're going to have a comprehensive conversation about this,
that's all I ask.
Yeah.
And how much does this cost? Nothing. I remember doing an interview with someone, and they said, well, what about, legislation? And I said, well, we don't really need a bill to be passed. I think it's just a matter of just being aware and using the pulpits and the platforms you have. If you're a pastor, say something. If you're a teacher, say something. If you're a politician, say something. If you're a law enforcement officer, say something. But don't just sit there and...
If you got a bunch of Twitter followers.
Yeah. I mean, just say it's okay for caregivers to get help for themselves. How long did that take to say that? 6 seconds?
A little fire in you.
Well, that's true. It's okay. And I think sometimes caregivers are so wrapped up again in that fog, that guilt, that fear, obligation, and guilt. They think they feel guilty if they do something for themselves.
Even if it's eminently healthy.
And so I say to you, give them a fighting chance by pointing them to safety. This whole show is about helping the caregiver find a path to safety where they can catch their breath, take a knee, and then start developing healthy strategies for life from there. That is hope for the caregiver. That's not patting them on the back and say, brother, we're going to pray for you.
That's not a tuna casserole.
That is doing something that will have results. I promise you. Hey, listen, the number is 877-655-6755. This is Hope for the Caregiver. I am Peter Rosenberger. We'll be right back.